We're live. We're live, baby. I think we're live. I mean, I don't know. It's officially like whatever he's saying now, it's gonna go on the podcast. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Plan Beats, who does not know how to record stuff, and your other boy, the Rel Banks, who has to deal with my stupidity on a constant.
Yeah, exactly.
What's good, man? What's good?
Same old, bruh.
Same old.
Dealing with you.
Yeah, but now on a whole other level. Now we're showing the world like what it is to deal with each other.
This is gonna be fun.
I hope so. I mean, at least it's gonna take us an hour of our days, plus setting everything up, which is enough of a challenge already. We've been trying to set things up for the past 30 minutes. You probably wouldn't tell that we're producers.
This is gonna be rough. Everybody.
But hey, there's always a learning curve with anything, and yeah,
At least we're in it together, man. We're in it together.
Yeah, it's always best to go with the ship.
I don't even know what that means, but
yeah,
it's better to be in a boat full of people when it's drowning.
Exactly. Hey man, it's at least you're not alone.
Got the company of everybody else screaming on the boat when you're going down, baby.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. We're already sounding like sociopaths. That's amazing, and that's what this podcast is probably gonna be moving forward.
It's gonna be a lot of craziness.
Exactly. We're gonna try to dim it down, but chances are we're either gonna be too lazy to censor ourselves, or too stupid to not know what we should be saying in the first place. So yeah. I mean, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, because I'm the host and you're the guest. The guest for life.
Let me stop.
Please don't. I mean, I guess it is the first episode, so it would make sense that we give people, because I'm assuming most of our first listeners are going to be people who know us and stuff. But for the other crowd, I guess it makes sense that we sort of introduce ourselves. Tell us where we came from in terms of production, all of that, and what took us to work on this podcast. Do you want to go first, or
no?
Or?
I'll go last. Save the best for last, baby.
After all of the people who are in this podcast, you know, the Plan Beats and all of the other pseudonyms that I ever had. Okay, so I am the Plan Beats, the one and only, the ridiculousness. Although it probably doesn't show through my beats, I have been producing for almost 10 years now, which isn't as long as the Rel, but it's still a milestone.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah, it's gonna reach 10 years towards the end of this year. So it was around October, November of 2012. I guess I was thinking like, oh, the world's gonna end, so might as well just start now. And yeah, I started making beats. I mean, I had a lot of different attempts throughout the years, because I was introduced to hip hop at around like 10 years old or so. So I was really into everything and learning about everything. And the only thing that I never really got the gist of it was making beats for a lot of years. I did start rapping with my cousin and some of my friends, and that took me for a few years. It got my attention for a few years, and then I reached my senior year in high school, and I thought, damn, I'm rapping so much. And notice, I was terrible at rapping. It was just a disgrace. So it's good that my focus shifted so much. But I did begin to make beats because of me rapping, because I wanted to start making my own beats. And then when I finally got like the gist of it, I just wanted to make beats and not make anything else. luckily for anyone listening, because me on the track is definitely a menace, but in the worst way possible. And yeah, I started making beats in 2012. I was trying to figure how everything worked by then. I think that was also around the time where selling beats online sort of boomed, right? Because Anno
Yeah,
Domini
yeah,
had been in the game. I think he was like one of the top names when growing up, selling beats online. But like the whole culture of putting your own beats online and selling them however way possible was around that time, like from 2010 to a few years later. And I wasn't so sure like how that went, because I followed a couple of friends at the time who were at a good level at beat making and stuff. And so I finally dove into the whole like online thing with posting your beats and trying to sell them and all of that only like at around 2015. And that was also around the time where I met you via DJ Pain 1, because Pain had the Unfinished Fridays on Facebook.
yeah, yeah.
And that's where we linked up. I mean, it was us, Dom as well, MMC.
Yep.
And yeah, bro,
And
it's
drop.
and Drop. Was Drop via there? I think I met Drop via you. And you met him via Pain, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did meet him via us coming together as a group, but he was on there too, though. He might have stopped at that time, though.
So as soon as I got in, Drop just left. He was like, nah, he had
Yeah, he just
he
like,
had a
yeah,
sense
it's time
that
for
I
me
was
to get
coming in.
out.
No, but yeah, it was Pain's Unfinished Friday is what brought us together
hmm
at around that time. And I was very new to the whole online thing. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I was just picking pieces from what I was seeing, and I was looking at Pain's tutorials on YouTube, and that's pretty much what got me like into the flow of it. I started understanding the whole collaboration process of it, and that's like when I kept looking at your entries every week, and I really liked them out of everyone else's. I liked them the most, and that's what led me to like hit you up. I think I hit you up on
Oh man,
damn, bro.
that just hits
Yeah,
me in the heart.
yeah, with a dagger, I hope.
a, a dagger of love.
Damn, no, we're not doing this in the first episode. But yeah, I hit you up for some reason. I think I hit you up on Twitter instead of Facebook directly.
Yep, I actually
Yeah.
remember that.
Why? I was really that stupid. Like I meet you on one social media platform and I decide to hit you up on a completely different one.
But see, Twitter was a thing back then too, though. Like Twitter was kind of still Twitter. It was kind of the way to kind of reach people faster. To me, it was like it
Yeah.
was kind of like everybody was on it. So I mean, I guess it kind of makes
Yeah,
sense
yeah, you're right.
because people like Facebook is kind of played out in a way. So Twitter is like was a thing.
I never really liked Facebook. I never really liked social media, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
It's a real pain to deal with all of that. But like I guess you're right. Twitter at that time, nowadays I feel it's also kind of drifting, at least from my perspective. But Twitter at the time was definitely the way to go to connect with people,
Yeah,
at least directly on the DMs. We linked up. We collabed on a couple of beats. They were fire off the bat. I mean, I still listen to the early stuff we put on, and I still bump to it. Like I really love.
yeah.
They're
Still
still
good.
good. The mixes are still kind of trash, but I mean,
That's on your end, not mine.
some of them, not all of them. Yeah. Hey, I own up to it. My mixes they definitely need work.
That old stuff, yeah. You can tell the difference.
Yeah, there definitely is a difference. But even so, like they're still really good beats. And then that's where we linked up with MMC and S Drop, and we tried to do this kind of producer collective, which didn't pan out fully. But even so, we still got like cool experiences from it. We
Yeah,
did
we're still cool.
Yeah, we still cool. We're still a group. We just aren't properly active as one, but we do
Yeah.
link up and stuff. So it was cool to at least create that connection between us all, and open up the space for like collaborating with everyone. So That's pretty much what it was, at least for me. And like obviously throughout the years we've been working together and with other producers and stuff. And like I don't know, in the past year or two, I've sort of been feeling like everything got in a routine to some extent.
Yeah.
Like posting beat after beat after beat for the masses, and and even getting on like specific projects like EPs and such. It just wasn't really doing it for me. And I had been thinking about doing something that was more like relatable to people and not just making beats. Although I still love making beats, but like I felt like I never really connected as much as I could to people, with people. And social media just I feel like more and more there's like a toxic wave inside of it. Like every time I log into Instagram, like I see a bunch of shit that I just don't want.
Yeah.
It's true, man, and like you can't really run away from it unless you disconnect completely. But I still wanted to be able to connect with people to some extent, and so yeah, I like personally I thought of the podcast. I know you were thinking about it too, but personally I thought about the podcast because it felt like a different step from making music, but still talk about music and have these conversations with you, which we already have like constantly, but to in this level,
Yeah.
and try to like connect with people, see if we can actually bring people into the conversation and expand what we do. And yeah, I mean, that's what it was for me. But yeah, man, how about you? Tell us who Darrell Banks is, and not the classical
Darrell
Darrell
Banks is a nobody.
It's depends. Are we talking about you or the singer Darrell Banks?
Both.
Damn. Nah, bro, come on.
I'm nobody.
You're nobody. Nah,
I'm nobody and somebody at the same time.
you're somebody, and you're gonna become somebody eventually. I can see that.
Now, my name is Darrell Banks. I'm a music producer 15 years now. I've been doing it professionally for about, I want to say 3 or 4 years. But I've been making beats my entire life pretty much. Grew up in the church, played drums in church from like 5 to like 10. Been around music. My whole family's musical. So yeah, I've been doing it for a long time, man. I'm not good at storytelling, bro. You gave a whole long, drawn out story. Like,
Hey, I was trying to keep it
I'm
short.
just keeping it short and simple.
I mean, you definitely were keeping it short and simple. That was barely an intro. That's like it's like when the villain shows up and you're like, he's the bad guy for sure, and you don't even know the backstory, and that's what it was.
It's like, I don't know what to say because how do I break all that down? It's a lot to break down. 15 years, like in music, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But there's also something that you just said that's like you've been making music for 15 years or around music for 15 years. We've met in 2015,
Mhm.
and you were making beats or posting them online before that. So and obviously since then we've been putting beats for sale and such. So what exactly do you differentiate now, making beats from that stage of when we met and how we were at that point to those 3 or 4 years that you just mentioned that you've been doing it professionally? Like to you, what's the difference between then and now, considering you were already selling beats and such, and obviously
The
that's
difference? Money.
shmoney. That's the green.
The money.
Yes, the shmoney. But like you were selling beats at the time, maybe not to the same level as you're now. Now you're comfortable enough, and I'm not trying to pull numbers or anything, but yeah. But like, is it a million? Can I hold it up?
Hell no.
Damn.
But no, it's like when you're making a living off of music, then that's what I consider like professionally doing music.
Okay.
Like before, it's just like a hobby. It was just something that I was, just doing. I mean, I still do it because I love it, but then it was just a hobby. I wasn't even really thinking about money.
Yeah, that's fair. So, but to what point did it went from you looking at it as a hobby to looking at it as a professional? Because was it just the fact that all of a sudden you were, and not all of a sudden, but you started making enough money to live off of it? or was there like an actual mindset change that led you to like, okay, I'm gonna put in more work and take this into a direction where I can actually live off of
It was
it?
a little bit of both. I started seeing more money just over time, like more people buying. And then I thought, like, yeah, it's time for me to start ramping up and really be serious about it. Like, once I started seeing money come in a little bit more and a little bit more, then I was like, yep, it's time for me to jump into it full time.
I don't know. It's hard for me to. I get what you're saying, and you're completely right. I think. I mean, to each his own. But to me personally, I'm not making off of music. I am making a fair amount. Luckily, I got to that point, but I'm not making money to the point of like living off of it.
Okay, yeah.
At least in my opinion. And especially considering because it also depends on where you live, right? Because like the minimum wage here, for example, is a lot lower than it is out there.
Mhm.
But also inflation and difference in prices also has. But I think that from the moment that I started investing in my time in all of the ends of it, of marketing, building the business side of it, like actual having to deal with all of the bureaucratic part of it, like PayPal and all of that
Right.
stuff that comes with it. That's when I, even though I wasn't making that much money, I looked at it like, okay, I'm doing this professionally. Like it's not enough for me to live off of. Currently, I have a job even, but I looked at it like I'm doing this professionally. Like it's not just a hobby because
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's I mean, that's still professional for sure. Money isn't like making a living off of it isn't everything that makes you professional. But when you in once you get into the mindset of like once you make an account for business, like this is my business account, my business PayPal, I'm setting it up, I'm doing all these things to make it something, then to me that's when you're treating it professionally.
gotta pay taxes and give away
Yeah,
my money.
taxes.
I already gotta be happy about one sale, and then I gotta be sad because I have to let it go. No, but
Yeah.
that's all fair in game. I mean, I think a lot of people who start making beats and putting them on YouTube at first they really just want to like connect with people, see what people think. They're not necessarily thinking of like I'm gonna try to make a sale from this and all that. Like when I first started, I posted my beats only on SoundCloud. Then I started putting them on YouTube as well. And I don't remember how I went about it. I think it was like I think for the first couple of months, I was just like email me if you want to buy this beat or something. I wasn't even
Yeah, I
aware.
think we all did that.
Yeah, we all did that. It's like I wasn't even aware how licensing worked. Like I thought you just here's the beat without like but there's like voice tags and all that. And all of a sudden, like what started off as me making beats, and this is probably the journey for over 90% of the producers, but like what started off just me making beats, all of a sudden like I need a voice tag. I need to understand what licensing is. I need to I mean, there has to be a better way than just email me and I'll email you back. I mean, although when you're first starting, you're not like getting piled on with a lot of emails, but still, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess that's when I had to put my mind into it and start looking at it from a business perspective. But I think at the start, right now, when you look at me personally, when I look at the business end of it, like marketing and all of that,
Mhm.
it's kind of tedious. It became kind of tedious because it drifts away from making music,
Yeah.
and you already have to manage your time so much with all of your life stuff to be able to keep on making music as you grow older. You really don't want to focus your energy too much on those things, even though they matter so much to some extent, because you can be making the dopest beats, but if your marketing is not like putting you out there as well, people are not going to hear your dopest beats, even if they're better
Yeah.
than your average Joe. So, but at the
Right.
beginning, it felt exciting because you were like discovering this whole new world. There's so much stuff that goes into this that I need to learn, and like I don't know if it's the fact that you're younger and you have a bit more patience, and you probably also don't have as many responsibilities, so you can just focus your mind into this. Because I was
Mm-hmm.
I think, 18 years old. No, I was 20 years old, around that age, 19 to 20 years old, when I started actually getting into it. And obviously, my biggest responsibility then wasn't even college, because I was taking a year off, but it would be college. And so I was very thrilled about learning about all of the things that came into that. But now it's just tedious to me. Like, I'll do it, but
Yeah.
I just want to focus on the music. And luckily, even though I'm not like booming, it's not that I don't care, but I'm comfortable enough to just focus on the music. If it blows up, it blows up. If not, like, I'll do whatever
Yeah.
it takes if there's a project that I'm into it that to that extent. But I just want to work on the creative side. It went full circle, and now I'm at that point. How is that for you? Like, have you felt this way? Are you feeling this way now? Like, in terms of like,
Hell yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Of course. Hell
The
yeah.
hell with all that. Just make beats every day.
Because I mean, first of all, we're creatives first.
Yeah.
So the marketing, the business part, like you said, when you first get into it, it's fun. It's like, oh, you discover all this stuff you can do. Then after a while, it takes a toll on you, man.
There's so much.
Like doing the same thing and trying to, level up and figure out what you got to do here and responding to these many people and me posting every day, making a beat every day. It's like,
Bro,
man, it wears on you.
That's another thing. Because you weren't posting every single day. You were
I
posting,
know.
what, once or twice a week? Maybe 3?
Like maybe 3 times a week. Yeah.
And you started posting once a day. It was, what, like
Yeah.
2 years ago now? It's been that long?
Probably about like 2, maybe 2.5.
So what made you take that leap? Because one of the biggest things that you'll see online is saying, if you want to, not necessarily if you want to make it, but one of the key steps for you as a producer is to keep up consistency. Not necessarily
Yeah.
be super regular with things, but be consistent with whatever you're doing. And I've tried uploading once a day. It didn't necessarily go bad,
ain't
but
easy.
it definitely ain't easy. There's like, and you put yourself like this pressure of like, I can't miss one.
Mm-hmm.
And like, to me personally, I didn't notice much of a difference from like a viewpoint or sales or anything. So I was basically just putting beat after beat after beat. I was just spending my time. I was spending very little time on beats because I like to go into the details of each beat. I take my time with beats, and not necessarily because making a great beat takes time, but it's just my way of doing things. I've seen people do beats and make amazing beats in a very short amount of time. But like, it just didn't work for me. It was just giving me extra pressure.
Right.
And ultimately, it was making my beats sound worse because I wasn't putting too much thought into them. So what led you into putting beats every single day? And how have you been dealing with that since the past 2 years?
The thing that led me to it is Illmind. Illmind had put out he put out some years back. He's like, if you want to like see a change in your career or YouTube or whatever, put out a beat every single day. And then like we talked about, I was doing like 3 beats a week or whatever. And I was like, I don't know if I could really do 1 beat a day. That's going to be challenging. But at the time, I did have the catalog. I had the backlog of all the beats I made years prior. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and try it for 30 days. So I scheduled them all in advance and just let them drop. And then I was like, you know what? Then I'm going to do that another month and see if I can challenge myself again. Then another month and another month. And then from there, I just kept going with it because then I saw results. I'm going to say like maybe 4-5 months in, then I saw results. Like getting more sales, getting more views, more comments, stuff like that. And that's what just kept me on that path. But then at the same time, that catalog ran out. So then I had to start getting to the point of like, oh man, this is getting tough.
The knot is like,
I gotta find ways to make beats quick.
Now I really gotta make the beats. I can't just go.
Yeah, and see, that was the thing. That's what kind of caused the pressure, because once I saw the growth in it and what it was bringing to me, I was like, I don't want to stop this from happening. And that's kind of more like a self-imposed thing. Because at this point, once you didn't have the growth, if I decided to post once a week it wouldn't turn out bad for me. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But it's just like once you get started in something, it's almost like a routine. Once you get started in something, you want to keep that up.
Yeah, like the hardest part is always starting and getting used to the new routine, like you're saying. So like obviously the first month is gonna be a pain, but after you get used to it, it's gonna be more natural. So I think that that's always like the hurting period of it. But like because of that pressure, did you? And although you do feel like it's sort of natural to you at this point, we did discuss before of like what it would mean for you to maybe drop it for again to three times a week, at least for like a small period. Do you think it would like
Yeah.
would it be better for you, like mentally? Would it be better for you? Do you feel like it would bring your results down, even if it would be for like a short period? Like, what's your perspective on that?
It probably wouldn't bring my results down. And it probably would be a little bit better for me mentally too. But again, I'm hard headed, man. It's like once I'm in something, I'm in it.
Yeah, yeah. Who needs to have mental health,
Exactly.
right? Yeah,
Just
we're
run mine into the
producers.
ground.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we're producers, so we already have that the masochist side to ourselves.
But you know what? At the same time, I think doing a beat a day, like when you don't have the catalog for it and you're forcing yourself to make a beat every single day, it's almost like a discipline type of thing at the same time. Like it can have negative downfalls to it, but it's also like making you disciplined. Like I have to get something creative out. Like I have to find a way to get it done, and you push yourself. So that's like a
And do you,
positive. That's like a positive thing to it, though.
yeah, that's a really good point, actually. But do you think that like started applying to other parts of your life? So because you were so inherently disciplined with music and making beats every single day so that you could post them every single day, you feel like that influenced other parts of your life?
Other parts of my life.
Yeah, or mine. I mean, it affected me because whenever I need a collab, I know you're there.
No, not really, because I'm kind of disciplined in life in general to a certain degree already. So doing the beat a day thing hasn't really carried over because I've always kind of had that personality though,
Yeah,
like forcing myself to do something challenging.
yeah. I mean, you have been going strong. You have been going strong for the past 2 years. I really commend your dedication to the daily uploads. I know
I'm dedicated.
I did that for 2, maybe 3 months, and I was done. I was nah. And this was before I got a job. This was after I quit college, so I had time. I just was just putting so much pressure, and like that's also a thing that I noticed. Like in the past, I followed a few producers, and I remember a couple of them that were also doing the daily uploads. A lot of producers do that, and a couple of them
Hmm.
were doing that in such a manner that the beats sounded like templates almost. So when people go to your channel or your catalog or whatever, they'll hear a lot of different sounds throughout your whole catalog. So even though you're putting beats every single day,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
definitely hit different genres, you hit different like vibes, like it doesn't feel stagnant and repetitive. So your catalog still has a lot of versatility. Whereas some of the producers I've seen posting every single day, and I don't know if it was just so that they could upload every single day or if it was because they noticed that that type of beat did well.
yeah.
But the fact is that you would listen to beat after beat after beat, and it would be like the same type of drum programming. The mixes, like I guess that's kind of more objective, but they all sound very similar. The type of instrumentation, the build of the beat, like
Hmm.
they all sounded like the exact same beat, just with different instruments and probably different progressions. That's that that's something that I noticed with people posting daily. And do you and I don't know, like I didn't struggle with this when when I was putting every single day, but I did it for a short period of time, like 2 or 3 months. It's nothing. I mean, it's something
I mean, that's still something. That's
it's something
still
because I was posting
that's more
twice.
than most people.
Yeah, that's true. I was putting beats out twice or maybe 3 times a week. I was putting twice a week, and then I dropped to 3 after that period. But still, like people who upload every single day, they do it for a long time, like you.
Yeah, yeah. I think those people like with the templates though, they're just trying to replicate a certain success probably. Like they probably had one beat that did really well and they're like, well, I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing. And you know, in a way, YouTube kind of favors that though.
That's
I
true.
think for me, like it's a problem because I post so much of a variety of stuff. YouTube doesn't really know what to do with me. It's like 1 minute you've got this, and the next minute you got that, and the next minute you got this. But people that's like, I'm posting a trap beat every day, then you know they have more chances to rank high for doing that.
Yeah, that's true. Cause like, but YouTube's algorithm is always changing. Like currently, I know that a lot of producers are going through this, where like their views are very stagnant. They're very low. They don't know exactly what's contributing to it. Like engagement is not necessarily lower. So it doesn't seem like it's an issue of the subscribers or the people that have been around. It's more of like an issue of getting new people in.
Hmm.
So I don't know what's going up with that. I honestly I don't know what's YouTube's situation is currently, because it's been so up and down, and
Yeah.
like it's a very weird situation currently in terms of social media like that to post beats. Just to go over what I wanted to ask you is, obviously you don't get that of your beats being repetitive, like I just mentioned.
Yeah.
But do you find yourself
Hmm.
fighting that urge of like, this beat might be sounding a bit similar, like the one I posted before or the day after?
Yeah. All the time.
How do you fight that?
All the time. Yeah. How do I fight it? Man, I just like, I'm gonna put something out anyway, so I don't
But it
really
doesn't sound the
try to
same.
get too caught up. Yeah, but you know, mentally in my head it's like, I kinda did something that's kinda similar progression wise, or the
Okay, I
drums
mean,
might kinda be similar, but
but there might be some similarities. I mean, that's bound to happen, but it's not effective. Like it's not similar. It's similar versus almost the same.
yeah, instead of this, the exact
And that's
same
what I
thing.
was
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the beats are the same. Like you listen to
Yeah, I can't do
bro.
that.
I don't
Like
know.
that now that would drive me nuts. Like having a beat that's like the same thing. Same drum pattern, just like slightly different chords. Or yeah, I couldn't do that.
Because I assume that's like for view purposes, views and sales and whatever. Like if you're making music, it's to be creative. And again, I'm not bashing on anyone who does this. Like you do you. Like
Oh,
there's
he's
no.
bashing.
Yeah, I'm
He's
bashing. Like
bashing.
no, go check my
No.
channel. I'm the last person who should be bashing on anyone. But like obviously you do you. If it works, it works. If you're doing this because you actually like it, then go ahead. I'm just trying to figure out what the thinking is behind that, because like as a creative, and this was something that
Mhm.
a rapper who I didn't actually talk to. Like there was this guy I found on SoundCloud, and I really liked his music, and I wanted to send him some beats, and so I hit him up on Twitter because Twitter was still the DM place to be at the time. And I sent him a few beats, and he said something at the time. I don't remember what period of time this was, so whatever. But he has said something that really resonated with me, and I tried to stray away from it, since that like the first 3 beats he heard on my channel, so my latest 3 beats,
Mhm.
had very similar drum patterns. So the beat was like the vibes and all of that were very different, but the drum patterns themselves, I guess I got to a point where it was unconscious, where I was just making a very similar drum pattern. And like there's always those drum patterns that you make that are very like cliche, so to say, and that it's kind of your go-to. And I guess that's what I was doing at the time, and I didn't even notice. And the dude told me that, and I went back to listen to my beats, and I was like, damn, he's completely right. Like I'm doing the same thing. Like there's a slight variations, but it's the same thing. And I became so self-conscious of the patterns I was making for my drums
Mm.
that I just like I either take away a lot of elements or add a lot more elements, because I just don't want that to happen to me, because it meant I wasn't doing it on purpose. So it meant that creatively I was at the stuck point where I wasn't evolving. At least that's how I took it in.
Yeah.
It's how I took it. Not that that's what he was saying. Like he pointed out, and I took it as constructive criticism, and he wasn't like taking shots or anything. But to me,
But it kind of
since I
got in your
wasn't,
head.
it got in my head because I wasn't doing it on purpose. So I don't know if I got comfortable with it, if I was going back to the point where I just need to make a beat and post it because like clock is ticking. But yeah, it got to my head to such a point where I was like, yeah, I got to fight this, you know? And so that's something
Yeah.
that I try to stray away from the repetitiveness because as a creative, regardless of you wanting to make beats or getting views or whatever, you want to make sure that you evolve your craft, at least to me, and I feel most creatives. So if you're in a repetitive pattern, why wouldn't you want to get out of it? If you're just looking for sales and views, go ahead. But if you're looking to evolve as a producer or as a creative, you might be evolving certain areas like your mixes or something, but like in terms of the progression of the beat, like the creation of the beat itself, you got to fight being stagnant in that standpoint, in my opinion.
Nah, yeah, I definitely feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. Because I felt the same way before. Like, I've done shit that's like, I hear it myself, like, it's kind of, I fall into that, go to type of bag, things that I like to do over and over again. Yeah, so, yeah, it definitely is good to try to branch out and improve on that.
There's definitely nothing wrong with doing your own thing, and if you're making something similar to the previous one, it's because you liked it and such. But I feel like as a creative, you have to be somewhat aware, and it's easy to lose this self awareness. But you have to be if you want to improve your craft constantly, and that's where like feedback and constructive criticism plays its part because as you're
Yeah.
making your own stuff, you kind of lose like an objective mindset to it. Like I know that's a big issue for me with mixes. Like I'll be mixing my beat for 2 or 3 hours, and my ears will be so fatigued that to me, like the beat. Sometimes I think the beat sounds perfect, and it sounds like trash. And sometimes to me, I'm just like I just want to be done with this beat. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm gonna put it online, and I don't want to even know the name of this in the future. And then I'll send it to you, and you're like, "No, it's dope. Like just change the snare."
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, actually, you usually say just change the beat,
No,
but
no, I ain't never said that. I don't think.
not seriously. But yeah, but you didn't say that jokingly. But yeah,
That's the thing of, being a producer. Like, we're our worst critics. We think a little bit too much sometimes. Like, yeah,
yeah,
this needs to be changed, and it's fine. Put it out there and let other people hear it and let them be the judge, and then base it off of that.
yeah, man.
But I mean, have you ever had somebody complain about your mixes?
I mean,
Right.
actually,
So
no. Actually, it was the complete opposite. The complete opposite. Like a lot of people, and I'm not bragging or anything because again, I think my mixes are trash like over 50% of the time. But a lot of people have told me that they really like my mixes, and obviously there might be one off here and there, but most people usually enjoy the way I mix my beats. But I don't know. It might just be that self critique that producers and creatives all around suffer from. It's like you're listening, you know that you made it, and so you're like, nah, it's trash.
yeah, I think we all like have that kind of self talk where it's like, I don't like nothing. But then sometimes you're like, oh man, I'm amazed.
No, we hate it.
I go through that up and down seesaw. It's like 1 minute it's like, oh man, I love all the beats I've made, and then the next minute I'm like, man, I suck. I really suck.
You'll love a beat the day you're making it. 2 months later, you listen to it again, and you're like, I made it.
What the hell was I thinking?
Why? What was I on? Yeah, what was I on? You start questioning everything. You start like packing your keyboard and your drum pads, and you're like, nah, I'm done. I can't be a producer. Like, I can't be making this.
You know what's crazy? Like, a lot of times it's posting constantly and all that is there'll be days where I'll put out a beat and I'm like, I'm not feeling this. I'm really not. But I'm going to put it out anyway because I got to put out a beat and people love it. And I'll sit back low key, hate it. I'll be like, I do not like this at all. This sucks. But people like, oh man, this is the most amazing beat I've heard in my life.
bro. And it's always those beats. It's always those beats that you're just
the ones that you don't
the
like.
ones you put out just because you're like, I made it, so might just well post it up. And then the ones you put your heart into it and go to the details and all that, and they get like 50 views and 2 comments, and you're like, well, okay,
Yeah.
what am I doing this for? Yeah, it really
It's
is.
funny how that works. Like you spend 10 hours making the most incredible beat, having like angels singing on the track and everything.
Kanye chorus and this.
Nobody pays attention to
the
it.
choirs, everything on there, like a real big thing, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
bro, it really hurts me.
Maybe that's a thing of like overproducing in a way. You know, those beats that we think are amazing might be just a little bit too much for compared to like what artists actually want.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a good point because you do need room on a beat for the artists to jump on, but at the same time, it's like okay, it's true that you're making a beat with the intent of someone rapping on it or singing on it, but at the same time, if you make a beat that's actually like very full and very beautiful and very like it sounds great, maybe it's too busy for someone to sing on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, you should still be able to get views and good feedback from it, from being an actually dope track. That's why I think that's also why a lot of producers, not just that, but a lot of producers are moving into streaming and putting their tracks on streaming, not only as an extra way of promoting themselves, but because a lot of producers are making beats that are so dope that they don't necessarily need people singing on them, you know?
Yeah.
And that also comes from like the EPs that we released.
Yeah, we got another one coming, y'all. Get ready.
Yeah. If you heard the previous EPs that we put on Spotify, Apple Music, and all other streaming platforms that you can think of, go search for the Wherelse and the Plan Beats on Spotify today. But we are working on another EP. We're good. We're good. 6 tracks into it, more or less. 7 tracks.
What is this going to be? Our 4th one or 3rd?
This is going to be our 3rd EP. Not even going to mention like collabs on the side, but like EP, it's our 3rd one. And we're actually putting a lot of thought into this one. Like the previous ones, I really enjoy the previous ones. Summer Lounge and Winter Waves were really dope.
Yeah, they were good.
But they were essentially just 8-track beat EPs. And we're actually like conceptualizing this one a lot different. We have a lot of different ideas for what we're going to do with this one. Actually going to try to take this one to the next level. So hopefully everyone will stay updated to that. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
This sounds way too promoty.
Yeah, we gotta.
But hey,
speaking of promotion, though, we do
gotta get it in while we can.
We do, and we're very late into this. I don't know how far along we are into the podcast, but we do have a sponsor. Yeah, you don't need to sound so silent about it.
BeatStars.com.
Well, yeah, it is BeatStars.com. No, but it is BeatStars. Had the pleasure, or we have the pleasure of being sponsored by BeatStars on our very first episode. So if you don't know what BeatStars is, it's basically a digital music marketplace where musicians, whether you're a producer or you're an artist, can find and buy and sell beats. Obviously, you can sell even more than that. You can sell your sound kits, you can sell albums, you can sell different services. So if you're a producer who offers mixing services, if you're an artist who wants to sell your hooks, so much stuff that you can do. It's basically the place to be if you're a creative in the music area, whether you're upcoming or not. Because BeatStars has been the home for producers who got placements with Lil Nas X for Old Town Road, CJ's Whoopty. I think recently it was even Soulja Boy's She Make It Clap, which went viral. And the producer behind that was on BeatStars. That's how the beat got around. So there's a lot of amazing placements going on constantly via BeatStars. And yeah, if you're a musician, if you're on the come up, if you want to get into music, definitely check them out, BeatStars.com. And yeah, get the first month free on us.
Hey.
Just go to Yeah, man. We gotta give something to the people since we already make their ears bleed with our
Yeah,
podcast
you're
and
already
beats.
dealing with something bad, so yeah, get
Yeah,
something good out
exactly.
the
So
deal.
this is exactly it's our appreciation for you. But yeah, go to beatstars.com/sell dash beats and use the coupon code checkpoint. So that's beatstars.com/sell dash beats and use the promo code checkpoint and you'll get 1 free month on your first subscription. And I mean, that's really dope to be honest. Like I know that when I
Can I use it?
no, you can't. You probably can be banned
Come
from them.
on,
You
man.
should be banned in all honesty, because like you're posting every single day. You're flooding the service at this point. Nah, you unfortunately you can't. I'm sorry. But hey, you're making music professionally, so you can't really whine about it. I mean, you got to look into the people who want to get into it and like. I mean, I don't know. When I was first starting, I didn't know what I was doing, just like I mentioned a few minutes ago. And when I finally got to understanding that there's an actual platform to sell your beats and they actually made it simple with licensing because they have like contract templates and all of that. It made everything so much easier that even though I wasn't making sales or anything, I just invested in it. It was like 19.99 a month. And it's been worth it since day one because everything is so simple. Like you have a lot of marketing tools. You can sell everything, like I just mentioned. You can sell sound kits and all that. It simplifies so much. I even had a website before on top of BeatStars, and I just deleted my website and got completely based off of BeatStars because they offer one with the Pro Page plan, right? And you've been using it as well since the beginning, right? Or almost since the beginning. So we're both actively using the Pro Page as our main website, and you can
Yeah.
add your own domain name and all that. So yeah, BeatStars is the place to be. If you're not on BeatStars, go to BeatStars. If you're somewhere else, go to BeatStars. I mean, that's what it is. First 30 days completely free. At least give it a try. If it works, it works. You're probably I mean, you could make sale. How long did it take you to make your first sale?
Oh man, really want to ask that question?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask that question.
Are we talking on BeatStars or are we talking in general?
I'm gonna say in general. You can say on BeatStars as well, but I'm gonna say in general because I feel like. Then again,
In general, it took a long time. A long time. I think I made my first beat sale in like 2010, I want to say.
damn,
I was producing, and on YouTube and stuff way before that.
true.
So it took years for me like to get my first sale. But as far as like BeatStars, it was because before I got on BeatStars, I was already getting some sales. So it didn't take that long, maybe like a month, two, something like that. Because I already had like people that would follow me and stuff. So it didn't take that long. But my first, like getting my first beat sale, man, I was making beats for years and didn't see anything.
Bro, I mean that's dope. That you were still able to translate that as soon as you moved to BeatStars. So that you didn't have to like reboot the whole process.
Yeah, BeatStars was the game changer, man. Once I found out about BeatStars, I was like, man, this is amazing. Especially with the templates, the contract templates, and how you can customize them and stuff.
Bro. I really hate I mean, to those of you who don't know, I actually went to law school, but I also dropped law school. And it's because it just ain't for me. Like I got in, but yeah, that's all cool and dandy. I really need like a creative outlet. It's just not for me. I could have went through with it, but it was like 4 years and then all of the other stuff that comes along with it. So nah. Um, and when I knew that when I learned that I had to actually deal with contract making contracts for my own beats, I was like, damn, this is really coming full circle. But yeah, the fact that BeatStars has the templates like ready for you, you just need to do small changes if you want. Like that simplifies so much.
Yeah.
And to me, like I think that as soon as I got on BeatStars, it took me like obviously I wasn't frequent at the beginning, but it did take me like a month, maybe two, to get my first sale, and it took a while to actually make that like a regular monthly thing. But it's always great when you get that first notification.
Man, I don't even remember my first notification, to be honest. I wish I did. Do you remember yours?
Bro, I think I sold a beat for like $9.99 or something. Because I didn't know what I was doing.
Was that exclusive?
I've gotten $1 offers for exclusives, and I don't know where people get off of that. No, I don't know. I don't remember why I was selling them at such a lower price. I think it was just because I knew that I was still starting, so it was like,
Yeah, still early novice type stuff. Yeah.
yeah, if you want to buy it, buy it. Like, I think I even sold a few for like $1. I don't think I wasn't doing like actual leases or anything. It was like very at the start, right before I dropped on BeatStars. But yeah, there were some crappy sales.
$9.99. Wow.
And if you call in the next 5 minutes, I'll get you 3 for free.
I do have a question though, like about contracts and stuff.
Oh boy, asking the
Yeah.
dropout law schooler. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the point. Like I remember before BeatStars and all that, like coming up with contracts. I remember looking in forums
Yep.
where people had made up some bullshit contracts. Just say this and sell all your rights away. Like I remember like motherfuckers who weren't even lawyers putting out contracts.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see if like you had that same experience of taking contracts that you found online and then adjusting them. Because I had did that before BeatStars came around and they, had contract templates.
But did you read the contracts?
Yeah, I read them.
That doesn't sound very reassuring to me.
But they weren't good. I read them, but they weren't good.
Oh, so you read them, but you were like, well, I mean, if they're doing it, what's the harm? I mean, I did do that. I did go on forums. I did check out other producers I knew, like sort of benchmark the contracts that they had and see what like the norm was. But I didn't, as I studied it, and I don't know if it's because I was geared into like I've always been very suspicious, so to say, like very I'm not super trusting of anything right away. I wasn't like, it wasn't like I read this and yeah, that pans out, and so I would do it. So I would benchmark between producers and understanding what the norm was, and I understood it. For example, you shouldn't give away your rights completely. So those types of things, obviously, I scanned through. But yeah, the templates were the base of the contract was completely like ripped off from other people, and then just tweaking those types of details.
Yeah, it was a chaotic time back then. It's like everybody was stealing from somebody that didn't know anything about anything. It's like everybody had the other person's contract, and it wasn't even a real contract.
Exactly, taking legal advice from people without actually taking legal advice from them, and they themselves not being.
Right.
And it would be even more beautiful if it was just a repeating cycle, because those people also ripped off the contracts from others, which probably happened as well. Because I did find a few like producers using the same contract, so I was like, either you ripped it off from him or him from you or some third party.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is. Like the legalities of music industry and beat selling and all that are very confusing. It's getting better. It's definitely getting better. Like there's a lot more information nowadays, but all around it's very confusing. It's very boring as well. But you do have to learn about it to properly defend yourself, especially when you want to go to copyrights and all of that mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. So where do we go from here? I think we've covered quite a bit.
Yeah. Where do we go? I mean, let us know if you enjoy this. I don't really know what exactly this podcast is going to be like. Obviously, we have in mind of this being like very producer focused, music focused, and obviously still being stupid around each other, because that's what we are 90% of the time. But yeah, we would like that this podcast would be mainly music focused. There's probably a lot of other podcasts that do the same, but we just, I don't know, we're doing our own thing. If people listen, great. If not, we'll listen to each other and just question life altogether. No, but yeah, let us know. We're on social media. You can find me at the Plan Beats anywhere. Darrell Banks, it's a lot more confusing. Darrell, you tell them where they can find you.
Just look for me on YouTube as Darrell Banks. I'm not really on social media like that, to be honest.
Yeah, just
Darrell
leave
Banks,
a random
Darrell
comment
Banks on Instagram. Darrell Banks with 2 S's on Twitter. I think it's Darrell Banks with 2 S's on Facebook. If you want to email me, allforbeats@gmail.com. That's ALL4BEATZ@gmail.com.
What's your phone number? What's your social security
I'll give you my
number?
address in a second. Just shut up.
You didn't even say it right. Your Instagram is Darrell Banks Music.
Oh,
How do I know this
right.
and you don't?
But you can. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can still find me if you just type in Darrell Banks. There's not that many other Darrell Bankses in the world, I don't think. I hope not.
Yeah, there's one famous singer, but let's neglect that fact.
Thank you. Darrell Banks Music on Instagram. And on YouTube, just Darrell Banks. You'll find me. Yeah,
just leave a random comment on one of his YouTube videos and he'll definitely make the connection of, oh yeah, I started a podcast. This is definitely what it relates to. Any last words, Darrell?
That sounds terrible.
We sound terrible, and yet we're doing a podcast. So go figure.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Thank you for listening, I guess. If you are listening. It's been fun. This has been fun, man.
If you are listening. All right, everyone.
Yeah, it's time to get off.
Yeah, we'll see if there's a second one. Hopefully there is. Say something. Say bye or something.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Love y'all.
I hate this, man. Peace.